Next event on the track, actually on the infield, the 60-meter hurdles. Grant Holloway, the Olympic and world champion, has the NCAA meet record from 6 years ago. And Johnny Brackens, who is in this field, has the leading time amongst collegians this year. There is Johnny. Had to run the hurdles and long jump at the same time on day one of these championships.
And this is the second year in a row that Johnny Brackens has had to do that, and this is the second year in a row that he's had some issues moving from one event to the other event, and he had to run the hurdles and come back. He had one more jump remaining in the long jump, but it was not a fantastic long jump competition for Johnny Brackens. He was only in 8th position before he went and ran the hurdle race, but then after his hurdle race, he had to come over. He was not allowed to change shoes. He was not allowed to change shoes at all, and he had to take his final long jump in his sprint shoes, and that jump got disqualified because there were air bubbles in his sprint shoes, and they weren't his long jump shoes. So another kind of just confusing back and forth from one event to the other, and you know it's unexpected. But last year he was in the middle of the hurdles. He was in the middle of the hurdles in the long jump when they couldn't get the track all the way down. He had to forfeit his last long jump at the NCAA championships to get ready for the hurdle. But Johnny Brackens, there's your collegiate leader. He ran 7:43 against Grant Holloway at the U.S. Championships at Oceanside in New York just a couple of weeks ago. There's Malachi Snow. We saw him in the 60 meters earlier, and here he comes back in the hurdles, trying to get some more points for the Texas Red Raiders. But the Big 12 indoor champ is going to be in the middle of the track next to Johnny Brackens. But I think that is the man to beat right there, Jacoby Tharp. And what's interesting, real Michael Jordan story, believe it or not, he got cut from his 7th grade basketball team, and that's what put him in the sport of track and field. His basketball coach said, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? And they said, let's join the track team. He joined the track team, started the hurdle, and there was no looking back. And what's interesting, Ken Harnden, the sprint and hurdle coach at Auburn, said, I knew I had a really good athlete, that I recruited a really good athlete when I saw him dunk from the free throw line. It's like, yeah, this guy's going to be pretty good. But Jacoby Tharp, he has been running fantastic all season long, and he always finds a way to get it done.
Won the SEC. He's on the right side of your screen with Snow in the middle and Brackens on the left. Texas Tech with 2 hurdlers in this final. And that is Jaheim Stern of LSU out in lane 8, putting his hand up. Very smart move. He was uncomfortable in the set in the on your marks position.
And there was a rhythmic clap going on for the triple jumpers at the same time. And as a starter, as an official, you hear that rhythmic clap. I think you got to stand the guys up. You can't always expect an athlete to make the call and stand those guys up. But there's a lot of noise down at the start. A lot of people sitting there right at the landing. You see the landing pit for the triple jump. That's where a lot of the noise was coming from. Antoine Andrews from Texas Tech also in this race, and don't count out JQ, Jaqueline Scott of Texas A&M. He was the runner-up at the SEC Indoor Championships.
Brackens out well, and so is Malachi Snow. And Tharp. It's Tharp. It's Tharp. Jacoby Tharp, the sophomore from Auburn, takes the title in 7:45, which is a lifetime best. There's Jerome Campbell of Northern Colorado, who hung in there for second. Johnny Brackens ended up third.
Well, this is as pumped up as I've ever seen Jacoby Tharp. He's usually a pretty quiet, mild-mannered guy.
This is what I do!
But he is jacked. The 19-year-old out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Let's see what happens when you get kicked off your junior high basketball team. You go on to greater things. But let's take a look at his start. A lot of athletes in this race. 7 striders to the first hurdle. About the whole about the whole row in the middle from lanes 2 through 7, but it's Jacoby Tharp who just had better hurdling, better technical execution over those sticks, and he was clean. I think he might have brushed the last one, but he gets off. He knows as soon as he came off that last hurdle that he was going to be the winner, and an outstanding time, and he is on the Bowerman watch list.
First time an Auburn hurdler has won this title indoors, and he's downstairs with John.
Thank you, Dwight. Yeah, so you kind of wanted to be Kobe. Basketball didn't go. Jacoby seems to work in the hurdles.
Yes, sir.
Where's the key point in that race for you?
The start. Yesterday, I was thinking too much. I didn't really get the best start. Coach told me, do what I do best. Just run my race. If I'm racing you to the finish line, and it's a championship, it's going to be a problem.
And there are a bunch of guys in there that can be a problem, right? That's not a field of plumbers that you took down. What was your mindset going in against these guys?
Just not doing what I did yesterday. Just run. Instead of thinking, just run. Like we practice emotions in practice. Out here on the track, we race, we run.
He's excited. He told me last week at the SECs that he was excited just because he won. That sounds really simple.
Yeah.
It's the goal of the championship. First across the line, Jacoby Tharp in the 60-meter hurdles.